Today, we'll be taking a look at how BMW Motorrad took their biggest motorcycle engine and turned it into something that could blast you to the moon. We've never seen a bike designed like this one. The massive boxer engine and agile frame used in this creation is simply unbelievable. So racers, start your engines and let's get to know this raucous roadster. What the heck is the BMW R20? Well, it's essentially the result of taking BMW's biggest ever motorcycle engine, the R18's 1802cc air-cooled boxer twin, and shoehorning it into a much smaller, lighter and more agile bike. Oh, and while they were at it, the BMW boffins decided to up the engine size another notch to reach a nice, round 2000cc. BMW's new head of Motorrad, Markus Flasch, who previously headed the company's N division, calls it a mechanical masterpiece, but essentially it's taking the same idea that created over-engine classics like the Shelby Cobra and applying it to two wheels. The R20 concept is a bold interpretation of the BMW Motorrad DNA, says Alexander Buckan, head of design. It combines modern technical elements with a classic roadster design. Its oversized proportions and minimalistic aesthetic make it an unmistakable character. In the process, BMW developed new cylinder head covers, a new belt cover, and a new oil cooler to help clean up the engine's appearance, as it's extremely exposed in its new, undersized home, creating an appealing caricature look to the bike. The eye can't fail to be drawn to those vast cylinders. While the hot pink aluminum tank catches attention, the centerpiece of the BMW R20 concept motorcycle comes from its air oil-cooled big boxer engine. When viewers look at the ride from the side, the open intake, throttle bodies, and cylinders spring into view, followed by the open exhaust system and the tailpipes in megaphone design, which can produce the typical big boxer engine rev. The oil pipes are partially hidden thanks to the new cylinder head covers, a new belt cover, and a new oil cooler that BMW Motorrad developed. Some information has yet to be released. How much power and torque the big 2000cc twin manages, for example. The R18's 1802cc version is good for a modest 91 horses at a low 4750 RPM and a hopping 116 pound-foot of torque at just 3000 RPM. More capacity for the R20 means both numbers are likely to rise, with something close to 130 pound-foot on the cards, and depending on the state of tune, a power figure well north of 100 horses easily within reach. The aluminum fuel tank is finished in a wild hotter-than-pink color, which contrasts with several polished and anodized aluminum components, as well as the gunmetal paralever strut, footrest system, and the ISR brake calipers. The taillight is integrated into the single seat, which is upholstered with coated black Alcantara and fine-grain leather. A modern LED headlight is presented in form of a 3D printed aluminum ring with integrated daytime running light. The main headlight appears to float optically in the middle of this daytime running light ring. It's a look that's emphasized by a completely new chassis, still made of steel tubes, but shrink wrapped around the engine to make the bike as small as it can be. The wheelbase, 1.5 meters, isn't superbike short. It's the same as an Africa Twin Adventure Sports, but it's nearly 20 centimeters shorter than the R18 and promises much quicker steering than any 2-liter bike has a right to. Sensibly sized wheels, 120/70/17 front, and 255/17 rear mean handling isn't being sacrificed on the altar of appearance either. The rake is set at 27.5 degrees, which should give a good compromise between steering speed and stability, with upside-down, fully adjustable Öhlins blackline forks. Those are matched by a similarly tweakable rear shock on an unusual-looking new version of BMW's paralever rear suspension system, with the lower swing arm section made of steel and the upper link that runs parallel to it cast from aluminum. Like the R18, the drive shaft and its universal joint are openly on display, although the production version will inevitably gain some heftier silencers that might hide it from view. The concept's front brakes are 6-pot ISR calipers, radially mounted and paired with a 4-pot rear caliper. The bike's styling is as minimalistic as its engine is vast. The tank, made of aluminum to help save weight, harks back to earlier BMWs and more modern retro machines like the R90, and sits behind an LED headlight that floats inside a larger ring of DRLs, giving the classic proportions of a big round lamp, while using modern technology and styling ideas. A pared-back digital display shows revs, speed and gear, but little else. Behind the tank, there's a single seat that's designed to maximize the visual space between it and the rear wheel. It's an element that's likely to be tweaked for production, not only because there's sure to be a demand for a subframe to cope with passengers and luggage, but because road homologation rules require bodywork to extend behind the rear edge of the back tire. A swing arm mounted license plate bracket would achieve that, though. When can we expect it in showrooms? 2026 seems a good bet going by the progress that previous BMW concepts have made. Of course, BMW has yet to confirm whether this Boxer will head straight for production, but knowing Flash's affinity for pushing the envelope with unique products, like the M3 Touring, we won't be surprised if this dreamy R20 becomes reality. So let's take one last look at this bonkers Bavarian Boxer. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.